This Sunday, we celebrate the third Sunday in Ordinary Time. During the weeks of Ordinary Time, we hear about Jesus engaging in his public ministry. The second part of the Gospel for today, taken from Matthew's account, most of our Gospel passages for this liturgical year will come from the Gospel of Matthew, is the call of the first disciples. It comes from Matthew chapter 4, verses 12 through 23. Let's take a listen. When Jesus heard that John had been arrested, he withdrew to Galilee. He left Nazareth and went to live in Capernaum by the sea, in the region of Zebulun and Naphtali, that what had been said through the prophet Isaiah might be fulfilled. Land of Zebulun and land of Naphtali, the way to the sea, beyond the Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles. The people who sit in darkness have seen a great light. On those dwelling in a land overshadowed by death, light has arisen. From that time on, Jesus began to preach and say, "Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand." As he was walking by the Sea of Galilee, he saw two brothers, Simon, who is called Peter, and his brother Andrew, casting a net into the sea. They were fishermen. He said to them, "Come after me, and I will make you fishers of men." At once they left their nets and followed him. He walked along from there and saw two other brothers, James the son of Zebedee and his brother John. They were in a boat with their father Zebedee, mending their nets. He called them, and immediately they left their boat and their father and followed him. He went around all of Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, proclaiming the gospel of the kingdom, and curing every disease and illness among the people. Jesus is walking by the Sea of Galilee, as he had many times. He sees two brothers, Simon and Andrew, and he says to them, "Come after me, and I will make you fishers of men." We are told that at once, they left their nets and followed him. Had they seen Jesus before? Maybe there were stories circulating about him already. Even in these early days of his public ministry, Jesus was coming to be known more and more by the people. In following Jesus, they were leaving behind their livelihood, which was fishing. It was what they knew how to do. They were also following this itinerant preacher, someone who traveled from place to place. Their lives would not be centered in one location. They would travel with Jesus, going from one village to another. They would leave their families and their familiar surroundings. They would travel with the Master. As Jesus' reputation as a healer and miracle worker began to spread, the disciples had confirmation of their decision to follow him, and perhaps their initial inkling that this preacher was unlike any other, that he promised to give new life, an abundance of life to them, that this was true, and it was appealing. Not only would they be receiving an abundance of new life, but they would help bring others that same new life that Jesus was offering. Did some disciples leave him? Yes. Some of his early followers found his teachings too difficult. Another gospel passage speaks about them leaving. Jesus gives them freedom to leave. When Jesus asks the core group of his disciples if they want to leave, Philip says to him, "Master, to whom shall we go? You have the words of everlasting life." Jesus can give them what no other leader or preacher or teacher ever could: an abundant life now and the promise of an everlasting life with him in heaven. This was a job worth taking, a job worth doing to bring others to Jesus to experience that abundant life. Jesus invites us to that abundant life, calls us to follow him, and to lead others to that same abundant life. It's worth considering how Jesus is offering me that abundant life right now, in the midst of my ordinary responsibilities. It's worth taking the time to reflect on this gospel. Let the gospel fill your week. See you in church. For now, God bless.